Is the link? Can you send us the link real quick? Because I'm trying to find it on the
It's on the
Trello.
Trello card.
It's
It's
not.
that one. It says something about Jim, and it's got the date September.
Okay.
I would literally just go find it on Trello. Let me see if I can do it faster than you.
I don't see it.
I just had it up, so maybe I'm fast.
I got the link that's in the body of the description, but it's not working.
Oh, I have it. Hold on.
I think it might be good for us as we're working on this to maintain this something on Trello.
Should we
So many
create a
tasks.
separate Trello board for the website?
We do have one already.
Well, if we're gonna do that with the shtick, like I kind of think we should. I mean, these are like really big projects with
Maybe we
multiple
create-
projects. Like there's probably mentioned like 2 or 3 videos that aren't really built.
Maybe we should create one Trello board for web development, period.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We could do
Because I don't
oil
think the
stick.
shtick is gonna need its own board or card, its own board just for card or whatever. Own card, yes. Own board, no. Or maybe, yeah, board for web. I don't know. Did you get the link, Larry?
Got it, but I don't know if it's a caching issue.
Yeah, I'm having an issue with pulling it up.
Yeah, it's just blank pages. It's just a blank page.
Oh, yeah, I was uploading. It should be up now. Weird.
I was just going to use it as a visual reference as to help with the next steps.
Can you pull it up?
No.
Or how do we?
Share a screen, Danny?
No,
You don't want to share a screen?
I can't. It's have to add the files again. I don't think it copied over.
Okay. So this is a lot of good information. So our end of day, our task is to put together a timeline can we do it with all this development that we just put in here to get a more realistic kind of expectations
Right.
of next steps?
I'm wondering because our as we're trying to do this timeline, once Danny gets the site so we can see it, should we go through that and give him a day to look at this to give us an estimate on what he thinks since he's going to be the one doing it?
Yeah, because this is a good start. I just don't think
An
there's
estimate on what? Like what is our next goal? Like you
Well-
want all this on the paper done or like
Or break it down into
Go on, sorry.
because this is more like an overall kind of like a broad like you need to
Right.
do this
Yes.
here and this here, but then we're going to get into more granular
Yeah.
like because I'm going to have questions when I get down to certain things. So yeah, I mean, I think we're doing this in the right order. This like doing this part first would be good. I just don't know. I don't know.
I think we need to
how-
develop a
yeah.
project timeline and what are the next tasks from this list and start breaking it out like that. It's almost copy and pasting into that timeline. It's almost as you scroll down on that page, because this is a great overview to start. What's the next page of this document look like? I forget.
Like what Larry was saying, he was like, next steps, we have the buckets, now define the secondary buckets in order. So like, for instance, where they said, to redefine, and Larry, maybe, how you're saying the secondary buttons, like how they want, I don't know how, if vision is first and manufacturing, history last, do we want to go through that now? And defining what those secondary buttons are now?
Yeah, because I think what we need to do based on the existing current website is to say what can be pulled over directly for now, which I think
And I
Danny
thought we
already.
already did. Danny already pulled everything over. Right, Danny? Didn't you? I thought you already
Pulled-
pulled everything over.
Pulled
the live
everything
site.
over from,
The
The
live
Yeah.
site.
website.
I mean, that's pretty much what is on there now is most of the web content they wanted to carry over.
So I think what we should do is probably set up cards for the individual drop downs and then start. And Danny can actually, if what I think my concern is that if we start doing this, do we need approval for each individual sections as we go through?
Yes.
And just place that for now. So that means we're very granular. We're only talking tabs at a time. We can start on, the first tab, second tab, and then, and then
I
just
think that's
outline.
the best way to do it because
Right.
I feel, okay, we presented this to everybody and it was like the first time everybody's seeing it.
Mhm.
And then everybody was just coming at us like from every direction and
Not focused, right?
no, it wasn't. And I feel like you said, each task, I mean, like it will be more granular, but I think we'll get further with that,
Mm-hmm.
going in smaller steps like that versus too much.
Right. I agree. And I want it to be very transparent as what's going on each of those. If y'all would
Yes.
agree with me.
Yes.
If it's not on that card, literally in quotes, like this paragraph, and it's, so that you can see it, Talia. And then if you need to share that section, like this is what's going to be on it, guys. We're not going to embellish. This is it. So that
Right.
Danny is not waiting on paragraphs to fill out
Right.
the copy block. You know what I'm saying? We're going to use this image. We're going to use this text. Next section, this image, this text, and just do it like that, very, systematically. That way, Danny can understand, and we can understand how long it'll take to give a more realistic timeline. Because I don't want, if we need to pause a tab because we don't have, one of the sections filled out, we can say, hey, Talia, go get this information or help us with this information. We're going to move on to the next section. And try to, and just kind of do that through all of it and then circle back.
So do we want to work on those tabs live right now
Yes.
We can.
and creating those things in Trello?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's important to do now.
Does that make sense to you, Larry? I mean, Danny?
Danny, does that? And the
Yeah,
reason why is because
absolutely.
no one's here this week. Jed's gone this week. Next week is platform week, and then they go to Colorado the following week. So we have a lot of
Quiet time.
yes, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, we need to get a good Trello plan together and then what expectations are as far as timeline, because that's what they want to know. I mean,
So
our
we're
end goal wasn't to be live in December.
Yeah,
And
it
here,
was. Yeah, it was the end of December, and I told Billy, I was like, that was the goal. I was like, but it's just not going to happen. However,
Well, that's what
It
we
is
need
what
to
it
ask that
is.
question because we have to scale back the content, and the development of some stuff and put other things in priority. If they have to have it up by then, it's going to be a leaner site, which
it
I don't
doesn't
like
have
to.
to. I think it would be a great goal if we could get it done by the end of December. Is that what we put as our goal? And then if
I
we
think we
need to extend
should.
it out, okay, all right,
I think
Yeah,
we
let's-
should make it a goal.
okay,
Because if we're reducing content across the board, it does make it go faster.
okay.
As long as, whatever content we start with and we start building this out, we don't totally change it. A correction is great, but not changing it. So we'll have to be sure that on all these, we get everything filled out. And even as of today, as we start building these buckets of goals, then they're not all complete at this moment, I'm guessing.
And you know what? This is also a really good time. I say definitely the end of December because there is no travel for the month of December. So I will have these platform guys here that we can kind of focus in on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but they're usually out starting the 15th. Everybody's doing holidays and stuff. I know I'm doing a vacation in, but yeah.
If I get it to them now and say it's due by this time, I think We get a lot.
So I think we got to commit to what we can get done because what's due from them.
Right. Okay, so let's start.
We should start a new board called Certified Website. And then do, I guess, the whole columns based on the tabs. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So who's doing that?
I'll do it right now.
And you have that to be able to share so that we can build those from that document?
Absolutely.
Have you given us that document yet? Talia?
Which document? Oh, this one right
The one
here?
that we were just looking at?
Oh, yeah, I will.
You throw it in chat. That'll make it easy
Yeah.
for him to,
Oh, in chat. Okay.
yeah, throw that document in chat and that way Larry will have it to be able to start creating a new board.
So I still can't pull up the current website.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now.
Right.
I've got to
You-
re-upload. It hung up somewhere and it didn't upload all the files.
All right. What is the first tab in your current website, Danny? Do you know? Can you see? Is it up where you can see it?
He needs a few minutes to
Okay.
upload
Just
the
give me a
files.
second. Yeah,
Okay, sorry. I didn't know if you had some other way to do it. So
I do, but I gotta get these going and then I can look.
I'm just going to alphabetize these just for placeholders. Jesus. So I can always circle back and do this. It's kind of monotonous. But let's say we're looking at the old site just for reference. So it would be about, and let's say the first one is history. So we would
Actually,
take
the first one is industries from the new website.
the first
Gonna be in
tab.
order. Yeah.
Okay.
If we're going in
Which
order.
should we call it platforms or
No, it's industries because that is a global term, industries versus like we call it platforms internally, but when you think of industries and how they categorize things around the world, around the globe, it is called industries. I've noticed on some of them, like they say markets, like if you look at Schaefer's, they say markets. But if you look at the more global ones, they all say industries.
Gotcha. So here, just using this as an example, first industry it could be what? It would be oil and gas or maritime, right? Is that how we're organizing it?
Well, I thought we were going to so the goal is to make us look larger, right?
Right.
So we have the 8, but we need to add more. So
Okay.
are you saying we're going to start from that list that we have in the company story?
No. I'm just saying whatever how we already have it organized.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to put some just to illustrate how this will work, basically, for our own.
Okay, so agriculture would be the first one.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
Don't get
alphabetical.
yeah. Let's not get caught up in what this is. It's more of a illustration.
Okay.
sorry, it's not letting me copy. I don't know what's going
So then this would be, and then they would be listed all out, all the way down based on how it's designed now. And if I said, hey, Talia, this is the copy that we have, and I'm just throwing this in there for content. Don't get caught up in what it says. It would be like paragraph and 1. And then we would have an image attached to it or anything else that may
Yeah,
tie
an
into
image.
this. Right.
Add an image.
I think this is the best way to do it to get buy off on everybody. So we're not doing like Benny was saying, this redesign every tab they go through. So you would probably say, hey, who's Dan is over agriculture. I need you, this is the standard paragraph for your intro and descriptions and industry, blah, blah, blah. However we want to, and then say, can you fill this in? Don't Don't go over, 30 or 40 words, whatever. You give them some parameters. That way you would go back in and go, hey, Larry, here's it updated from Dan. And it'll be to me and Danny, obviously, and Vinny. And then that way we can lock this in and then move to the next section. So, and we could even include, no, we don't want to include those guys at all.
No.
No.
I had to back out of that real quick. So I think that makes it more, it's defined here. And if there's edits and text changes, it would be in this world, not through, and that way we can communicate on this board and not through email or Teams or once we
Now
lock
with
it-
those clients, we'll have to communicate via email, obviously.
Right. And that's our go-between for Talia,
Right.
And, once we get this card set up and then I think Danny would find this a lot more, because that's what he's a hammer and these are nails. He just wants to go through this. Once the design and content or the design and framework is set up, he can go fast as, he possibly can probably when it's like this. There, there'll be formatting issues and things like that we'll have to massage as we go through. But yeah, this is just the, play on the field kind of thing.
So we let the platform manager create the initial paragraph. We're adding the image. We'll just use existing, or because you have plenty of good images that you could even just pull from the company
yeah.
story that have already been approved by Jim Rogers. So like they're good to go with that.
Yeah. And we're going to choose our best, representation. How this looks and feels is on each of these should be consistent across them all. But at that point, once I have it here, Talia, before I give it to Danny, I could pull in a writer
That's
and
what I was just going to ask.
and copy these into a Word document and all 8 platforms, let's say, of these individual writing the stuff and have them massage it, pour it back into this and give it to Danny.
That will have all the same
Yes.
feel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The
Okay,
same
that's
way.
What kind of just overall, I realize we're on our first, we need to establish a deadline when we need this stuff from these guys. What is realistic? Based on what you're saying, they're out for the next 2 weeks.
I think it's fair to say give them 2 weeks time on all these kind of tasks. I've found working with them because these guys are getting thrown so much
Yeah.
right now, just like all of us are.
Mm-hmm.
But I have found it being more successful giving them 2 weeks of response versus a week response.
Well, as we look at the overall calendar, so we know they're not coming back for 2 weeks, right?
And they could have this done by the time they get back from Colorado.
So do we want to say maybe a November 15th kind of deadline?
Yes.
Something.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hey, I have the website up on my screen. Seems like it's just copying really slow. I think that was the problem why the files weren't showing up. Do you guys want me to share or do we need to look at it?
Yeah, let's look at it. It'll help us with this illustration.
Yeah.
So you're moving files from the Mac share to the server Lerno1 or? Is that-
Whatever the VNC is, remember?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Lerno1.
Yeah.
Because I got to move some files here in a minute too. So yell when that's done.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find, do you remember that when we first was developing the app for Certified, we worked on that Excel document, Benny?
Yeah.
I am trying to find that to see if I could possibly pull it in.
To utilize. Yeah. You know where I think that might be?
Is it on the
In
option
that-
5?
No, maybe, or in that management share.
Oh, management. I haven't been there in a while.
I have a feeling. I don't know.
I can look it up.
Because, yeah, I was thinking that exact same thing.
I don't see that share anymore. Oh, creative management. There it is. Manager files. Okay.
Is that where it's at?
Kim search website schedule.
I think that would be a good one to use as a template.
And then we can show how we developed this with Talia.
Yeah, I think getting all
Sorry,
the
I
cards.
think I put myself on hold and shared with Rachel, and I guess I'm having some trouble here. Just give me a second. Now she's making fun of me.
So team meeting, stage 1 branding, stage 2 identity roles, stage 3 branding, homepage design. So
Are y'all seeing it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's from your desktop.
Yeah,
Yes.
Did you not get it copied over?
it's still copying.
Oh, wow.
so click on industries for us, Danny. Ah, yes, I forgot about that. Yes. So go to agriculture. So agriculture or learn more. So this is where all that
So each of
content,
these would theoretically look the same.
right,
It'd be
exactly.
kind of like how the platform section, the platform resources that we were just working on in Oil Stick,
Mhm.
where every section has those four tiles or whatever. That'd be ideal.
Right. Right.
It doesn't have to be like that, but we should tell them it has to be like that just
No,
to keep
yes.
them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So Talia's already done probably most of this kind of, it's not in that form, but possibly just giving them a form letter in a Word document to say, write a brief, 50 word paragraph defining who you are. Or, this is where we come in and say, what do you want it to say? Do you want to define who they are? How can we help this industry? What do we do for this industry? And where do you see us helping you in the future or something? That's where we have to be creative and tell that story. And it needs to be a generic story enough where they can kind of go through and go, oh yeah, I know what you do. I know who we are, blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense, Talia?
Yep.
And that way we'll get eight of these sections, send it off to the writer to help us define it. This is where Jim and Jed's approval needs to
Right.
be
But I thought they already
rock
approved
solid.
the copy. They already approved a copywriter. I thought you said we already got approval.
We don't have anybody in the wings. No,
But I thought you said we got approval.
yes, we got
Okay.
approval on it. And that's why we have to, because they're freelancers
Right.
and we have to give them nuggets of stuff, that makes sense.
Right.
And then because they charge us by the hour basically, when they do that. So, we'll just pay them as we go,
Right.
and it's going to be a learning process too, because it's always a crapshoot who you work with. If you don't have experience with them, sometimes they just don't get it, or they're not fat, it's just all hiring and firing kind of issues of that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's how we start and work through this whole damn thing. Where it gets a little bit more challenging, I think, is where we get into, industry specific terminology and things like that. We may need to get an oversight from maybe Aaron, who's, the engineer part of that.
Well, I think we have to be careful with that because we don't want technical. We want sales.
Right.
So we have to be very, very careful
Yeah.
about bringing, because he goes technical and then you lose people.
Right. No, I mean, just replace Aaron with, fill in the blank. Is it
Gotcha.
a manager who can write professionally to help? What I'm saying is trying to merge the gap between the writer and the content expert. You know what I mean? Because I'm probably never going to find someone who has lubrication and sales experience as a writer. That's very specific. So, but it's a partnership kind of thing. So, Danny, did you see how we were setting that up on that card? Do what?
And so at this point, once I get the 8 back, we can then review that with everybody, say, this is how it's going to look moving forward with replicating the others.
Replicating the others? What do you mean?
The other industries, because we're going to.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it'll be like copy paste kind of format, that kind of stuff. So does that sound like a good plan, Danny? Or are you comfortable with that kind of workflow?
Yes.
Okay,
I don't know
good.
what's going on here, but
Because
Yeah.
I do know then from this, I know 1,000% that I will get the question, okay, well, we also want to link the product specifically to our industries. I'm going to say, stop. This is our first step right here. We're just filling this out, and then we'll come to you on the second step. This is first step.
Yeah.
Thank you. If that's something you want to work on in the background, you're more than welcome. Letting you know.
Yeah. It's that no man's an island in right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's at this high level. Later on, if once we get the site live and we get more feedback, there's a lot of phase 2 stuff. You know, like I sure would like it if we could do a hyperlink to this, you know, VRR or description, you know, whatever. And those are always kind of there. So yeah, Danny, I would just hold off on that for right now. That way we can keep talking about processes and stuff.
Okay, it looks like it's working now.
Okay. Yeah. That way we can work through this. Industry is a very first one. If you want to choose one to kind of do a test and not overwhelm us, that way we can, what I'm concerned is before we have these guys touch this stuff, we need to define what those paragraphs should say and mean. You know what I mean? Because take the bullet points and expand out. I think we're really close though to be able to give them something. So going back to timeline, do y'all want to say that each tab is going to take an X amount of days and weeks?
For the industries?
Yeah.
Well,
That's hard to
kind of
say.
like if you get one done, like it's kind of like when we redid the apps, or what, I mean, I guess that's when I don't know, like I do one and then that one takes a long time, you know, and then I just have to kind of change the pictures and the copy and stuff for the other ones. So like getting the first one done is going to take a lot longer than getting all the other ones done.
Would it make sense that as these bullets are done, we spend a week or two kind of coming up with what it would take to get one done? Or can we even
I don't
do
think
that?
it's going to take, if I have the content, I don't think it's going to take like long. I don't think,
I don't either.
unless you guys want something interactive, these sections aren't going to take a long time to
But I
build
thought
out.
we added all those functionalities at the very end because this is just content,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You
And
add
if you
the-
do want to, yeah, that's what I would do. Like to a degree, like I don't want to spend a lot of time designing something if we're going to replace it with, you know, something interactive. But yeah,
'Cause
I mean,
while Danny's doing this, there's other things that has to be happening in the background that's not just, you know, building. It's we've got to do the video stuff and making sure that, you know, that's going to take me and whoever else I partner with some time, you know, so it's going to be a couple things happening all at once. Let me share my screen real quick to show Talia this chart that we have from an FE website.
what? Do I need to unshare, Larry?
Yeah, I think I can take over.
Keep getting me errors.
Of course, I'm clicking on too many things. So Talia, this is kind of what it looks like. We use this for FE to kind of outline. It's loose, but it gives them a little bit more understanding what it is. So we are actually probably right here in this phasing of stuff. So these are 2 weeks to do that.
2 week stints.
Yeah, 2 week stints. So obviously this will be customized to tabs. You know, we could say 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And that was just a kind of generic, but it actually gives you an idea of how long it would take. You know, that was 3 months, I think. And I don't even know if we hit that. I think it lasted a lot longer than that because, you know, once you get it out there, people, like we said, are going to start commenting on stuff. So
Right.
It's a very general kind of thing. If we want to color code this stuff for, you know, each tab, you know, that would be realistic, I think, because if we're giving Danny enough 2 weeks to just, you know, fill in, this stuff, you have to allow maybe a week for getting these guys stuff and then implementing it. Maybe there's different ways to kind of talk through it. But if we're like October the 26th, and we said that, what are we here? If we gave them the PDF or something, the Word document on Monday, and gave them a week, is that realistic? I don't know.
She said 2 weeks.
Okay, so then that would be 2 weeks, and then you give Danny another 2 weeks to implement, maybe.
Yeah. So if we have all that from those guys by the 15th,
Mm-hmm.
we're thinking that Danny could implement all of those sections in 2 weeks.
Right.
I think that's kind of a question.
These are questions.
I
Yeah,
think
you're
that
right.
needs to be a goal.
Yeah.
I think two weeks is doable. I mean, when I work with these guys, I typically give them 2 weeks project. I mean, they're just getting very overwhelmed by so much.
Yeah. And then maybe at the 1 week mark, do a little, status check. And
But-
they
I
But
think
when
we
you
might
think about
want to
it,
be.
this is the only part that we're really asking from them. We're only asking
absolutely.
this from them. So
And it's actually the
that's
hardest
fine.
part. This is
Yeah.
the part that I was more worried about than all of them, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The rest are about, more overview kind of stuff. I think I can redo this so it's a
Okay.
more realistic understanding. And then I can put what day to start. Do you want to start? This is our actionable steps, basically. Today is the 26th.
Because I can send something out to them on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm
Just got
there.
an email. Customer Westmoreland plant tour. Customer had to cancel as they've had a board meeting called for Monday. We'll try to get them down in the meeting. All right, so we can take that off.
So that
That's
all that
fine.
signage and stuff needs to
Yeah.
come down. Great. So Tolly, before we send that out, we just need to define those paragraphs, making sure that we're
Yes.
asking them to fill out the right thing. So that is a little bit more work on your part, obviously, and your due diligence to make sure that we're going down the right path. But so we're going to start this calendar. I'm going to start on the 31st. How's that?
Okay.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a good initial? That way, the purpose of this is to give us and higher ups a realization of what we can expect.
Right.
And I would not share this with anybody unless the team, our group, has signed off on this. Like, I'm not going to do a one-off with Jed to talk about this time frame. It would be a group consensus of everything and commitments. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And it's an Excel document, so you can edit. I'll share it, and you can edit as well. I think that's the next step, right? Sounds like
Yeah.
we got some good. And so I need to. Can everyone see this? The certified WhatsApp card. Do I need to invite everybody? I don't think I do. Do I?
I don't know. Let me see if I can get into it.
Oh, it's public. I'll make it public. It would be in your board
What's it called?
certified website.
Not populating. Do I need to search it first, like in the search bar, like
You
certified?
should see it right here on your boards. Do you see it in your boards?
Like where? Right,
Oh,
like over on the left.
I think
hand
you got to add us to those boards, Larry.
Do I?
Up in the
Okay.
top right, maybe.
Share.
Yeah, there you go. So there's where you type everybody.
Okay. I'm gonna put it in the Teams. That's the fastest way, right? See if that'll work. If not, I'll just send out individual emails.
All right, let me see.
Problem, it doesn't pull from our. There it is. Boom. It did
Chat.
pull. Benny. Benny. Oh my gosh.
Shit.
Okay, everybody should be on it. Now, do you see it?
Not yet.
Do I have to log in or do I?
Yes.
Son of a bitch. There it is. I see someone
Yeah,
just added
username
something.
and password. Damn it.
I wonder if I should. Do y'all want to remove all of this from the card over? Get the certified public app site and move it over to that board.
Yeah, maybe.
Can I log in with my SSO? I can't.
No, not yet. It's a separate.
That's what I thought, but it popped up like. Okay.
I guess I gotta reset.
Okay, I see it now. So I'm not going to see it in the workspaces. I see it in the boards.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And I
Okay, so
moved
what
the card over.
so do you recommend, so I will send this out to them on Friday, say it's due the 15th. I can do just asking them for a paragraph defining their industry and asking for 50 words is enough.
Oh, I threw 50 out there. I just didn't want it to be 4 paragraphs.
I don't either, because I know that's what I'll do.
It needs to be a general, because if you're saying the whole website needs to be less text and more, it needs to
Yes.
be more general.
More general.
Mhm.
And
I'll let Danny decide on how much text looks good on the site, because he's probably has copy blocks already formulated for that. That's
okay.
fits good within his design.
Danny, are you good with letting me know what that is?
Yeah,
Or is 50 or 100 or?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Throw some Lawrence in there and just take a look at it, because you'll be formatting that to the way you like it too. So
40 to 50 is like an excerpt or a little excerpt.
Okay.
maybe 100 words. It just needs to be able to be concise. Like your objective is to what do you want them to do with this section? Define your industry, talk about how we can help them in their industry, services or whatever, and then is it 3 points? Is it 2 points? We kind of y'all have to decide what you want it to say. And is that enough? Because that's all they're going to get from that section. And it needs to be kind of not specific to today, but evergreen. So it can't be. The oil and gas industry is suffering a huge loss, or it can't be about economics of today, or
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It needs to be more general. And once we get, you may even want to try to do just one of them to see. That way we can give it to all of them. I don't know. I keep going back to Andy. I'm sure.
I know.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because
I
if
think
Andy can capture it, show it to our leadership, and they're like, all of them will be phrased and organized in this way, and they're like, yes, do it, and then that way, bam, we got it. Go.
Andy's really good with that.
Because
Can he deliver something quickly enough though to make our deadlines? That's
Oh, trust me, he will. He's sending me stuff, I swear, like 5 times a day, I think.
squirrels everywhere, right?
Yes. So he has plenty. I
God
think
bless him.
He would enjoy that and getting his feedback on that. I know.
Yeah, I think he likes being a trendsetter.
And he's good at it. He's very good with words. He is.
Give him what he is. He knows what he's doing, and
He does.
So we got to give him credit. Okay, cool. So I will start working on that certified schedule. We're doing 2-week stints for everything. that was going to push us way back. Okay. It is what it is. If we have to go January, February, at least we'll understand it. But this is
And
just
you know,
good.
I think we should have a meeting every week, or at least put it on the schedule.
I agree.
And a meeting could only be 15 minutes. You know, hey,
We can
this is where,
we can schedule it for an hour, and if it's 15 minutes, it's 15 minutes. We can do
Yeah.
that. Are you guys
Okay.
all good with that?
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Is there a certain day that works best, and I can get this out on everybody's schedule now, or just look at everybody's, or because you guys know your schedules better than me.
Let's see. There's not
I would say Thursdays or Wednesdays, either one.
Thursdays
And-
and Wednesdays and Thursdays are lighter. Yeah, we have a meeting, a Wednesday morning meeting with FE that's at 9 and 9:30, and that's the only thing we have standard across everybody's schedule.
And we may, and I'll talk to you this separately, Larry, about expectations on my grand jury crap.
Why are they making you meet I thought grand juries were like it's in trial.
No, they're the ones that make stuff go to trial.
Oh,
The felonies going to trial.
that's with the DA, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't have a plaintiff and defendant in court yet.
No, all we do is work with the defendants and say, yes, you got enough stuff to move forward with, or no, we think it's crap what you got.
So they're not doing jury selection then, are they?
No, it's like, well, it's not like, because, you know, we were confused about how come you're not going in the morning.
Mm,
A typical jury, you do that. I didn't know. I didn't realize this was something different. I just saw grand jury and it's like, whatever.
oh, you got the deluxe treatment. You didn't get what everybody else get.
Yeah, it was different. That's why I was kind of like, man, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? I'm not seeing a reason, or I'm not getting it fast enough, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna start working on that right now.
Okay, let me ask you, do you guys want meetings, say, at like a 10:30 to an 11:30 on Wednesdays, or it looks like 1 o'clock, or
Let's do mornings if we can, I think.
it looks like everybody's good with 10:30 to 11:30?
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Wednesdays?
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Yep.
Could be. Yep.
Certified. Cool. I think we got some good things here. Once we get the dev side up, I'll backfill this board with all the tabs and the sub tabs. That way you'll kind of see in a quick instance what we're up against. I need to add another one for just another tab just for content development, like website or videos and stuff like that, don't we?
Yeah, because they could be separate content projects that Danny might not even work on, but
Yeah.
needs to
I'll
be
call it
aware of.
New content, homepage videos, what we got to do. Okay, cool.
Okay, so do we need to go, so what do we just, so are you gonna provide us that schedule and then we review it, or you're just gonna go through each of the columns? Is
That's
that,
all. Yep, that's how it's got it needs to be. Each column with each individual sub tab, and that would be your content for each of those sub tabs. I don't think we went 3 layers deep on any of that stuff, did we, Danny? I can't remember. I don't think we did.
No, I'm pretty sure it was only 2.
2 levels. So that makes it,
Yeah.
yeah. So 2
Yeah,
levels.
that'll take you a while to get that thing together and get the board finished out. We
Mhm.
get Andy to start a thing, his content, so we can shape that up to get it to the other guys. That'll be our goal. And then maybe our next meeting, we review, did Andy get his stuff done? Are we able to get to those other people? And how does the timeline and board look to everybody?
Yes.
Does that sound like a reasonable plan?
Yep.
Yeah.
think it does.
Sounds good to me.
Right. And everybody has that. Okay. So, and then from there, we'll go more into detail then on, I guess, like when we talk more like on videos versus
Yeah.
content development versus, okay.
Think we'll get into more nitty gritty next time. Would we be able to do? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, get into the granular stuff.
So I will get this sent over to Andy.
Cool. Good meeting.
Okay. All right. I feel good about this too.
All right, talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
All
All
right,
right. Have a
bye-bye.
good one.